Hello everybody. Curriculum for young children. Today under this we are going to deal with the lesson the types and processes of curriculum. The objective of this lesson is to understand the different types of curriculum designs. The second objective is to understand the processes or stages in curriculum planning. Curriculum planning. Curriculum planning means the process concerned with making decisions about what to learn, why to learn and how to organize the teaching and learning process, taking into account the existing curriculum requirements and resources available. At general level, it often results in the definition of broad curriculum framework as well as the syllabus for each subject to be used as a reference by individual schools. At the school level, it involves developing the course and assessment plans for different subjects. At the classroom level, it involves developing more detailed plans for learning units, individual lessons and lesson sequences. Curriculum designs. The curriculum is an academic plan which should include the purpose of the curriculum, that is the goal and students' learning, the content, the sequence, that is the order of learning experience, the instructional method, the instructional resources and evaluation approaches. The curriculum design is about how a person envisions what curriculum should be, and there are several standard models of curriculum design. Curriculum design is a statement which identifies the elements of curriculum, that states what their relationship are with each other and indicates the principles of organization and requirement of administrative conditions to operate. It should be supported with and to make a explicit curriculum theory which establishes a source to consider and the principles to apply. It is the arrangement of components of the curriculum. There are different curriculum designs. They are the child-centered curriculum design, the subject-centered curriculum design, core curriculum design, behavioral curriculum design, activity-centered curriculum design and integrated curriculum design. So, these are all the different curriculum designs. The child-centered curriculum design is represented by Kilpatrick and Dewey in their recent times by Wilson. The child-centered curriculum focuses on the children's learning resulting from common interest. This model emphasizes that the child is a living thing with thoughts, beliefs, hopes, choices, feelings and wishes. The Dewey based curriculum upon the interest of the pupils, what really matters to them and then assist them to develop and relevant capacities or qualities of mind which are already at work. Next is the subject-centered curriculum design. The subject-centered curriculum design organizes the curriculum into a variable number of subjects, each of which purposefully represents a specific or homogeneous body of content. The basis of organization is usually the traditional subject matter like the biology, history, geography, literature, etc. and that particular subject such as home economics, computers, typing, etc. The scope of the subject design is determined by the range of subjects worth of inclusion in curriculum and by the substance included in each subject. Let us move on to see the core curriculum design. The term core has been used in a variety of ways and many other terms such as common learning, unified studies, basic education and block time classes and usually recorded as synonymous for core curriculum designs. It is applied to those subjects stipulated for all children of a given age in a particular school rather than all the school as a whole. The core curriculum is designed to develop values and rules essential to social living. The curriculum does not focus on one discipline or subject area at a time, but attempts to integrate materials from various disciplines to accomplish the goal of a well integrated personality and society. This is about the core curriculum design. Now, we will see what are the other curriculum designs. This curriculum is taught through discussion of rules and then by reinforcing them both by praise for keeping them and criticizing for breaking them. There will also be opportunities for talking about how you want the children to behave towards each other, taking turns, sharing and not making unkind comments or bullying. Here, patterns of organization for the use of equipment and computers and expect the children to keep up them. In this behavior design, it is a part of curriculum in which the children learn from earliest times in school and reinforce incidentally all the time. Next, we see the activity centered curriculum design. According to Dewey, activity centered curriculum, it is a continuous stream of child's activities unbroken by systematic subjects and springing from the interests and personal needs of the child. The activities are given priority over the other things. It has a large number of activities which are not fixed. Here, the teacher plays an active role in this curriculum and the subject matter is translated in terms of activities and the knowledge is gained as an outgrowth and product of these actions. This curriculum design is based on the principles of learning by doing. The integrated curriculum design. In integrated curriculum design, it is not only simply an organizational device for dealing with the subject based curriculum in a more flexible and effective way. The rationale for integration is based on the theory and the nature of knowledge. The second line of thought for some degree of interpretation might deal with the themes, the topics or the ideas provided in integrating the element within the curriculum. They are presented in an interdisciplinary manner and in the presentation disciplinary differences between the blurred and possibly unrecognized. The third type of integrated curriculum might not involve the whole curriculum, but only certain areas of practical thinking. The fourth type of integration deals with the student's own interested inquiry. Inquiry is a very general term which includes a wide range of activities in whatever area of students' interest. Students are encouraged to acquire the power of their mind, those habits of thinking and those skills of inquiry which are common to all intellectual pursuits and which give a unity to thinking irrespective of the conventional subjective boundaries. So, these are all the different types of curriculum designs. Let us move on to see the processes or stages in curriculum planning. While planning a curriculum, one should think about the certain aspects. What are those aspects? First is, what is that you want the child to learn and acquire during the period they are with you? Next question you have to put is, how will you help the children achieve these long-term goals? To do so, you have to break up your long-term goals into short-term goals, that is goals for a shorter time period, say for a week or a month or two. Accordingly, you will select the activities for each day. The third important aspect or question you have to consider is, how will you know whether the short-term and long-term goals have been achieved? So, this means this involves the evaluating the children's progress and play activities. Basing on the above, 5 stages are identified in curriculum planning. They are stating the long-term goals, breaking down of each long-term goal into short-term goal, identifying the play activities related to the short-term goal, the formulating the daily and weekly activities, and then the next is the evaluating play activities and child progress. The first principle is stating the long-term goals. Goals may refer to outcomes of specified at the individual school level. Curriculum goals vary to their degree of specification, but in general we tend to be long range in nature and as a targets somewhat have been removed from what is ordinarily considered as immediate classroom assessment. Goals are general objectives in the sense that they focus on the activities and are generally broader in their character than the specific objectives. For example, physical and motor goals. A program that fosters the physical and motor development for early childhood programs should allow opportunities for developing body balance and coordination, physical growth and development, establishing the desirable feeling towards one's body and its function, establishing desirable health, hygiene and feeding habits. Cognitive goals. The program of early childhood education should help the child to develop a positive attitude towards learning. The program should enable them to discover the world around them and then on their own solve the problems. The program should sharpen their sensory awareness by building upon their vision, hearing like touch, taste and smell. The program should foster a scientific attitude by helping them to make observations and arrive at conclusion. It should foster their ability to make decisions. It should give opportunity to use the mental abilities of matching, perceiving, common relationships, grouping and observation. It should help them to develop concepts. It should enhance their reasoning skills and enable them to determine the simple cause and effect relationships. Now, let us see what are the language goals. The language goals include providing opportunities for interaction with adults and peers so as to help children develop language skills. Helping children increases their vocabulary. The program should help them to put their ideas into words and sentence to express themselves clearly. Fostering pre-writing and pre-reading skills should be the goal of early childhood education program. The program should also foster the conversational skills in children. So, these are all the language goals. Now, let us see what are the social goals of early childhood program. The social goals include building a positive relationship with their family, peers and adults, to learn to cooperate, show empathy and helpful behavior, to learn to respect the rights of others, to develop a sense of self-worth and positive self-esteem which leads to a positive self-concept or good self-concept. The program should help them to learn to control undesirable behavior and acquire socially acceptable ways of behavior. Now, coming to the emotional goals of early childhood education programs. The emotional goals are labeled as or compared to the other goals, they are global. Therefore, instead of stating them separately for each group, we can put them together. So, the goals are the program should understand their emotions and to express them in a constructive and socially acceptable ways. The program should help them to understand others and feel empathy toward them. The program should persist in their efforts until a task is completed. The program should accept and adjust to oppositions and failures. The program should develop confidence in children and in others and develop an attitude of trust. These are the different goals for early childhood education programs. The center requires to state the short-term goals also. Through such short-term goals set for every 2 months, it will be able to achieve the long-term goal. Thus, one of the short-term goal can be, for example, carrying out play activities to help the children to understand how plants grow and help them to know 5 different kinds of animals. Let us see few examples of short-term goals. For example, if you take a motor development area, in motor development area, the long-term goal can be helping toddlers to develop muscular control, and the short-term goal can be to help the children practice to walk. In cognitive development area, the long-term goal can be to develop the preschoolers' cognitive abilities. And the short-term goal will be to give the children practice of throwing and catching, to foster the ability to match and understand the common relationships. Now, let us see what are the social development area long-term and short-term goals. In social development area, the long-term goal can be self-confidence and self-worth. The short-term goals will be the child has to discover that they are capable of doing many things, to convey that the children are competent. Next comes the language development area. The long-term goal can be to help the children to improve their vocabulary. The short-term goals will be to provide opportunities for listening and expressing skills, to motivate the child in participating in group discussions. In emotional development area, the long-term goal will be to help the child to know that she can have the effect on the things. And the short-term goal is to engage in play activities that require the children to do something with the objects. Now, we will try to identify what play activities are related for short-term goals. So, the first area, that is motor development area. In motor development area, the short-term goal will be to develop gross motor coordination. For this, the activities can be outdoor games, nature walk and field trips. Cognitive development area. The short-term goals will be to strengthen the child's understanding of grouping and seriation. So, for this you can have the activities like free indoor play with puzzles, beads, blocks, etc. Then the social development area. The short-term goal is to help the child to discover that they are capable of doing many things. For this, the activities can be the group games and activities and structured games. Language development area. The short-term goal is to provide opportunities for listening and expressing skills. For this, the activities that can be suggested are the free structured conversation, storytelling and dramatization, rhymes and songs, music and movement. Emotional development area. The short-term goal is to talk to the child about her actions and the results they have. So, for this, the activities that can be suggested are dramatization and puppet play. So, these are some of the activities through which the short-term goals can be attained in different development areas. The next one is the formulating daily and weekly schedule. After planning the long-term and the short-term goals, let us now see how the daily and weekly activities can be formulated. The teacher must select few topics and plan weekly and daily programs by incorporating all the activities with equal weightage. Evaluating the children's progress. Evaluation must be done to know whether the objectives framed are fulfilled or not. What are the improvements or modifications required, etc. This evaluation can be done immediately after implementing the program, and the feedback on this must be documented properly. The children's progress can be evaluated by comparing the skills and knowledge of the children before and after the program. Now, let us move on to see what are the guidelines for choosing the early childhood educational curriculum. There are 9 features identified as a common characteristics for effective curriculum. They are the comprehensive domains of learning, specific learning goals, well-designed learning activities, intentional teaching, culturally and linguistically responsive, individualized instruction, ongoing assessment, family involvement, appropriate for program, staff, children and families. First is the comprehensive domains of learning. In comprehensive domains of learning, what we are going to look for? We are going to see whether the curriculum is comprehensive. Does the curriculum address all areas of children learning, and how does it align with the Head Start Child Development Learning Framework, and why it is important? The most effective program provide interventions that should be focused on whole child, including the socio-economic development. The second one is the specific learning goals. When you are going for the specific learning goals, you have to look for, does the curriculum identify specific goals or learning objectives that clearly defines what to teach. Why this is important? Because the most effective program had a clear focus on what they want to teach. The next one is well-designed learning activities. In well-designed learning activities, you have to see whether the curriculum is including well-designed learning activities or the activities linked to specific learning goals and objectives. Does the curriculum include clear guidelines for planning environments? Why this is important? It is important because effective programs and curricula included well-designed engaging learning experience that support specific goals and objectives. Children learn best with highly interactive experiential learning activities. The next guideline is intentional teaching. When you are having intentional teaching guideline, you have to see whether the curriculum provides guidance to teachers in intentional planning for teaching interactions that are responsive to children and build on what the children are interested and ready to learn. Why this is important? Because the most effective program and curricula intentionally used responsive teaching, because where the teachers purposefully use a combination of mixture of child focused and direct teaching strategies to make learning more appropriate to the child's need, and higher quality of emotional and instructional teacher-child interactions have been linked to preschool child's academic and language skills. Culturally and linguistically responsive. Here, the curriculum provides the guidance to teachers in creating a classroom environment that should reflect the cultural and linguistic background of the child. Here, the curriculum should provide guidance to teachers in supporting the language development in children and who are learning English in addition to other languages. This guideline is very important because it is designed to responsiveness of the needs of specific children, families and communities, and a program that integrates the children's home language and home culture results in better overall development or overall outcomes of the children. The next guideline is individualizing instruction. We have to look whether the curriculum is providing guidance to teachers for individualizing the instructions by arranging the environment, adapting the materials, using a variety of child and adult directed teaching strategies. This guideline is important because it addresses the individual differences. Ongoing assessment. Here, the curriculum should provide an assessment system that is directly linked to the curriculum learning goals, and this guideline helps us to include an ongoing assessment component. Family involvement. Here, we should see whether the curriculum is providing guidance for communicating with the families and involving them in their child's education. Why this guideline is important? It is important because the curriculum should include a strong family education and support component. The next guideline is appropriate for program staff, children and families. According to this guideline, the curriculum has been implemented with the children of similar ages, needs and linguistic backgrounds and cultures. Are there any studies have been published for effectiveness of curriculum? Should be considered. The curriculum has been used successfully by similar programs, should also be considered, and it should also be noted the consistent or the curriculum's overall philosophy and practices with those of the program. Why it is important? Because the most effective program curriculum were informed by the best available research on children's development and learning and designed to be responsive to the needs of children and families and the specific communities in which these children are located. The teachers are more likely to implement the curriculum if it is compatible with their philosophy and if they are receptive to the ongoing coaching, and the children tend to make a strong educational gains in programs where the teachers are provided with ongoing professional development and support. So, today we have understood what is curriculum and curriculum designing, and also we have understood what are the principles or guidelines in curriculum. Curriculum design and review of the continuous cyclic process. It involves making decisions and how to give effective to the national curriculum in ways that best address the particular needs, interests and circumstances of the school, students and community. The national curriculum provides the framework and common directions for the schools regardless of their type, size and location. It gives the schools the scope, flexibility and authority they need to design and shape the curriculum so that the teaching and learning is meaningful and beneficial. Hope you have understood this lesson. Thank you.